They say justice must not only be done but must be seen to be done. But today, we are not witnessing justice, we are witnessing a grave injustice, a betrayal of fairness, and a mockery of the very principles that should protect the innocent. Sunday Jackson is a killer, only because he killed a man in self-defense. He is not a criminal, because he had no prior criminal records. He is a simple farmer, a man who toiled under the sun, breaking the earth with his hands to feed his family. But on that fateful day, his farm, his sanctuary, his only means of survival, became a battleground. He was not the aggressor, he was the victim. He was not looking for a fight, he was forced into one. And now, for daring to defend his own life, for refusing to be another silent casualty in the never-ending bloodshed that has claimed so many farmers, he is sentenced to die. If the law cannot recognize the right of a man to defend himself in the face of death, then what is justice? If we condemn the oppressed while the real aggressors walk free, then what is the worth of this system? Today, we do not just fight for Sunday Jackson, we fight for every Nigerian farmer who has watched their land trampled, their homes burned, and their loved ones buried, while the world looks away. We fight for a truly blind justice system that sees all Nigerians equal. Welcome to Niger News Series, where we break down the headlines that matter the most, making sense of the complex, in ways that truly connect. The Nigerian Supreme Court recently upheld the death sentence of Sunday Jackson, a farmer from Adamawa State, who was convicted of murder after killing a Fulani herdsman in what he asserts was self-defense. In 2015, while tending to his farm in the Kodanti forest of Newman local government area, Jackson encountered Buba Bawuro, a Fulani herdsman, whose cattle had strayed onto Jackson's land. A confrontation ensued, during which Bawuro allegedly attacked Jackson with a knife, inflicting leg injuries. Jackson managed to disarm Bawuro and, in the ensuing struggle, fatally stabbed and killed him. Jackson was arrested and charged with murder. After spending 7 years in pre-trial detention, he was convicted in 2021 by a Yola High Court and sentenced to death by hanging. The court opined that Jackson should have fled after disarming his attacker rather than retaliate. Supreme Court Appeal. On March 7, 2025, the Supreme Court upheld the lower court's verdict, confirming Jackson's death sentence. This case has sparked significant debate and criticism. Self-defense argument. Critics argue that Jackson's actions were in self-defense, especially given his injuries and the immediate threat to his life. Trial irregularities. Legal experts have highlighted procedural issues, including a 167-day delay between final addresses and judgment delivery, exceeding the constitutional limit of 90 days. International attention. Human rights advocates, such as Dr. William Terrence Devlin and attorney Emmanuel Ogebe, have condemned the verdict, labeling it a miscarriage of justice. They are urging Governor Amadou Fintiri of Adamawa State to grant clemency. The case of Sunday Jackson bears a disturbing resemblance to the Osun State case where a young man was sentenced to death for stealing a chicken after spending nearly a decade in detention. Both cases highlight deep flaws in Nigeria's justice system, where the powerless often suffer the harshest penalties, while those who commit far greater crimes walk free. In both instances, we see a judiciary that seems more eager to punish the poor than to seek true justice. A man defends himself from an attacker on his own farm, and instead of protection, he gets a death sentence. Another steals a chicken, likely out of desperation after years of economic hardship. And the system deems him worthy of execution. Meanwhile, politicians loot billions with impunity. Killers disguised as herdsmen massacre entire villages, and justice remains elusive. What does this say about our legal system? Is it truly blind, or does it only open its eyes when it's time to crush the poor? These cases are reminders that we must demand reform, fairness, and a judiciary that serves the people, not one that punishes the defenseless while letting the truly guilty roam free. Conclusion. while every case is judged on its own merits, the historical and ongoing reality of Fulani herdsman-farmer conflicts in Nigeria cannot be ignored. These conflicts have devastated communities. And in most instances, farmers have been on the receiving end of violence with little to no justice. The core of the issue in Sunday Jackson's case is the principle of self-defense. If someone is attacked, especially in their own space, in this case, his farm, do they not have the right to defend themselves? The court's argument that he should have fled after disarming the attacker seems unrealistic. How does a wounded man outrun an aggressor who might still be a threat? Many Nigerians see this ruling as part of a pattern where the legal system fails to protect ordinary citizens, especially when the aggressors belong to certain groups. If the roles were reversed, would the verdict have been the same? That's the question many people are asking. If justice is truly blind, then it should factor in the lived experiences of farmers like Jackson, who have seen too many of their colleagues killed without consequences for the perpetrators. It's no surprise Nigerians are rallying behind him. His story represents a larger injustice. Thanks for watching Niger News Series. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video and don't forget to subscribe for more breaking news and in-depth analysis.